Hello and welcome to the weekly debriefing. This week we're going to talk about three things, which are some of my three favorite things to talk about in this class. First of all, we're going to talk about Google Maps and how those can be used in the classroom. Then we're going to talk about Class Dojo, which is a behavioral management solution that is pretty common in elementary school systems. And then we are going to talk about virtual field trips. So really, Google Maps is a way that you can go on any virtual field trip that you would want to go on anyway. And basically, if you've not explored Google Maps or tried out Google Maps, it gives you the ability to go anywhere, anytime. And you can move yourself into the street view to be able to see what it looks like as if you were literally there walking down the street. So this has lots of educational implications. So like the example here is of London, and you look like you're standing on the streets of London. You look like you're actually what it would look like there. So it will allow you to explore historical areas if there is somewhere that you're learning about in history that you want them to see, but obviously cannot take them. You can take them on Google, show them what it's around, what countries it's around, what locations it's around, and then go straight into the street view and see what it actually looks like to be there. You can also use it to explore settings of stories. So, if there are stories that are based in certain locations before you read the text, or as you read the text, let the students go on a little virtual field trip there to see it. For example, if you are a fan of Harry Potter, you can actually go to King's Cross in England and on Google Maps and see what that actually looks like there. So that's one way. You can explore places that you can't go to in a school day. Also, this can be used for whole group lessons, so we're all going to do this as one big group, or it can be something that you have on the list of when you finish your work early activities. So if the students have their own Chromebooks and they've done their activity, they've done their lesson, and you say, okay, you have free time now, here's a list of places you can go and check out. And they might go to Google Maps and go check out, these different locations and answer some questions and explore different places. A way to keep them busy, but then also to keep them entertained and very engaged. The next thing is we're going to look at Class Dojo, which again is a behavioral management program. It's free to create. Basically, each student is then assigned an avatar, a little alien looking person here, and then you are able to, as the teacher, to give and take points away for defined behaviors. And what's great about Class Dojo is there is a focus on positive, so you're able to give points as well as take them away, and you're able to define what those points are for. You can give points to individuals as well as groups, so you can group students and say, hey, you all are getting this reward, this many points because of what you did in group time or whatever. It also has some other non-behavioral features that, like a random name picker, that you can use if you want to use Class Dojo for more than just behavioral elements. And then also a huge plus of this is that it does have parental access to where parents can go in and see the students' daily points, and you can generate reports for them weekly to be able to see where the student has gained or lost points. Okay, and the last thing we're going to talk about this week are virtual field trips, which is a discussion that you're going to do. You're going to get to do some your own research and find us some cool virtual field trips. And when you're doing this, you want to think of places that you would like to take your students, or you would like to go as a student, but you can't because of the location, right? Because it's too far away, or you can't because of the funding. It would be very expensive to take them there, or because of security. Maybe these are places that are high secure areas that you're not going to be able to take a whole group of students. Of course, we always have travel regulations now because of COVID and those type things. So think about some really cool places that you think your students would want to go, but are not going to be able to. And you also, when you're looking for these virtual field trips, you want to find interactive ones. Don't just, find one that, oh, here's a YouTube video of a video to watch that shows this place. That's not really interactive. Look for things like live cams, if there's a live cam of showing what's going on live there, or places that have interactive websites. And make sure, of course, that they're tied to a specific standard, and it's on their students' reading or grade level as well. So you want to try to find one that has that information. So, for example, I just recently took a trip to Chattanooga. It would be amazing to let students go and see Ruby Falls, which is this huge underground waterfall. It would be amazing to take them to Rock City, which is this big open area with all these different natural rock formations and things like that. It would be amazing to take these students to some of these national parks that have these canyons and these waterfalls. We can't do it because of location, obviously, very far away. The funding may or may not be there, but then also there's security issues, right? We can't have, kindergartners hike down 600 steps to go see a waterfall. So, is there something out there that, do they have a live cam? Do they have some type of interactive slideshow? Is there something created to where students can be in the classroom experiencing these activities, um, you know, from the safety of the classroom? So, look into things like zoos or aquariums or national monuments or um, um, museums. A lot of your bigger museums will have interactive websites. And so you're going to do some research and pick a really great virtual field trip tied to a standard to share with us. All right, so in your Google Classroom, this is the module with these links. So first of all, for Google Maps, you don't have anything you have to turn in. If you just click on it, though, there is a video there for you to watch to see how to use Google Maps if you're not familiar with it, how to find the street view and that kind of stuff. Again, nothing for you to turn in there, just something for you to look at. For Class Dojo, there is an activity for you to do. Of course, there's the video that you need to watch to know the ins and outs of how to use it. There's the web link to actually go in and create your own Class Dojo. And then here is the grading sheet for that. And what you're going to be expected to do is to create an instructor account for your Class Dojo. You're going to be expected to make 3 fake students, so you can name them anything. And I want you to assign them 3 different positive or needs work points. Just practice, assigning them different things. I would also like for you to take attendance for your students, and that's part of Class Dojo. And then post a message to the class story. And you can just post a reminder for a field trip or just something. It doesn't have to be anything real, just to practice posting a message to the class story, which is another feature of Class Dojo. Then once you are done, you want to submit the PDF of one of the students' reports showing where you've assigned those positive needs work points. And you'll just submit that to Google Classroom as evidence. That's where you'll get your points. And so this is how you do that. You log into the reports area, choose view reports, choose this month, print reports, and then save it as a PDF. And it doesn't matter which student you choose, just as long as I'm able to see that you did practice assigning that student points and whatnot. All right, so that is what you're doing for Class Dojo. I think that you'll like playing with that tool and seeing all of its functionality. Again, make sure to watch the video so that you know that you understand all the functionality. If you just go in there and do only what I ask you to, you're not going to get the full effect. So make sure that you give it a go and try out the attendance and try out the message and all the different features there. All right, so that's Class Dojo. Then we have our virtual field trip discussion. So here what you're going to do is you're going to do some research and you're going to pick one place where you would like to take your students on a virtual field trip. You can pick any grade level, any subject area, and you want to provide us and answer the following questions. Where did you go on your virtual field trip? I need the name of the location as well as the web link to the actual trip itself. What did you learn from that field trip that you did not know before? What standard does this go to? So make sure you put the grade level and the subject area and the full standard, not just the call number. Copy and paste the whole standard out. And if students were to go on this virtual field trip, please explain in detail an activity that you would have them do. So, in a couple of paragraphs, explain what you would have them do after they did the virtual field trip. All right, and so what I've done here is I've just included some links to kind of get you started. You might pick one from this, or you might find these are just ideas to get you started of different virtual field trips that you could check out and that you might want to look into. So definitely go ahead and look at the different ones here. All right, so that's going to be there. Now, what I would like for you to do is when you view the question, This is where you're going to post yours. I would like for you to try not to pick one that somebody else has already picked. So, if possible, go ahead and look at what other people have picked first, and then try to pick one that isn't one that we've already picked, just so that I will be able to make a full list. So after you submit all of yours, after this discussion is due, I'm going to take all of your posts and put them into one document for you guys so that you can have just one big document of all the different virtual field trips so that you can use them in your classroom. So if we all pick the same thing, then we all end up with the same virtual field trips. So if you could try to pick one that isn't listed or you think is particularly cool, make sure to do that and we'll put it on the list and we'll have a nice big list that we're able to share. All right, so that is what you're doing this week. Class Dojo, Google Maps, virtual field trip.